welcome to Mildly Spiraling. I'm your host, Tracy. Happy to have you here. Hello, and welcome to the 8th episode of Mildly Spiraling. I'm your host, Tracy. I'm happy to have you here. I'm laughing because I'm just like, oh gosh, am I going to make the same mistake that I made last time, which I still don't even know what happened with the audio, but I apologize if you're a listener and you're like, why does it sound like you are in outer space, or like, why does it sound like you're recording in your bathtub? Like, oh no, I'm sorry. So honestly, I will say, I am like the least technologically savvy person ever. So like recording a podcast and making sure the sound's okay, like, it's so hard. Thankfully I did get a little help with this, so if it's not okay, I'm gonna blame it on Patrick. But if you are watching the YouTube videos, like, and I have a YouTube, y'all, so check it out, Mildly Spiraling Podcast on YouTube. But you will see that I've got this like setup with like, I've got the mic and I got this little like mic stand that it looks kind of like I don't know, like a forklift, and like the little, what is that called, like a spit pad thing, and I've got it all set up and I got it like, I want it to be the best sound you've ever heard in your life, but like sometimes I am so bad at technology that even me having this like shit set up, still I make a mistake somehow. Like, I press the wrong button, or I'm not recording in the right microphone, and then it sounds like it did on the 7th episode. So I do apologize. And if you made it through that whole episode, holy shit, kudos to you. You are a true fan, and I love you so much. I really appreciate it. But maybe you're my stalker. Uh-oh. Oh my god, that actually I had a stalker in, I think it was my senior year in high school. And like, I was a competitive ice dancer, and so like I did not really socialize with a lot of people at school because I was like literally in classes, I think from like 8 a.m. to 12. I was only at high school for like 4 hours, and it was like class. Like, I had 4 or 5 classes in a row, no breaks, no lunches, like anything. So like people didn't really like know me because like there was no like socialization aspect that I like had with people at my school. Like, I was mostly just hanging out with people at the rink. But I had to take like an extracurricular kind of like activity. And so I signed up for like international cooking. I thought it sounded really cool, and it was cool. But I like somehow, like, there were these 2 people that like literally became obsessed with me from it, and they started like messaging me on Facebook, I guess. I don't know. Did I have MySpace or Facebook? I feel like this is like the very beginning of Facebook. But they started messaging me, and they'd be like, oh, did your mom drive like a black Suburban? And I was like, what the fuck? And they were like, yeah, we saw her like driving you to school, and she dropped you off at 12. I don't know. She dropped you off. Like, it was just this like weird shit. And then they were like, want to come out with us? And I was like, no. And I was like, no. And then they'd be like, we know you live at like blah 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 Squadron Line Road. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is like weird, because it was also just like they were just telling me all these like facts about myself of like where I lived and what car I drove. And then they were like, do you want to come to prom with us? And I was like, no. And then they started spreading rumors around school that I was a whore, or like, I don't even like, and I was like, what? Like, babes, I don't even think I'd ever kissed anyone at that point. I was like, I'm 18 and I've never even kissed a boy or a girl. Like, boo. I am not a whore. I'm just like a competitive ice dancer with absolutely no life, and you are going about this in the wrong way. And that is on toxic masculinity, y'all. Like, we, you know, I truly, that is a testament to toxic masculinity. I ended up like having to drop. No, you know what? It wasn't an international cooking class. It was a photography class that I took. I ended up dropping out of it, and like the vice principal was like, "Yeah, that's fine." Like, and he was like, "They're innocent," and I was like, they're fucking idiots, and they're spreading this rumor around school, and people are probably like, who is Tracy?" Literally, like, who the fuck is that? I never see her. She's literally skating every day, all day, so I don't know who that. What am I talking about, y'all? But no, that was like so weird. I don't know, it was just like a really weird thing, but that is truly on toxic masculinity. I love like how much more confident I'm becoming with age. Like, I am like posting these on YouTube, and it's like I'm literally wearing what I wore to bed, like a green sweatshirt. I have no like makeup on, and I'm thriving. Like, I don't give a fuck anymore. And that's kind of like, so like, I think not like, obviously give a fuck. I give a fuck about a lot of stuff, but it's like, it's kind of freeing in a way to not give a fuck about stuff. Like, just to go out and be like, yep, here I am today, world. This is what I look like. Hello, YouTube. What's going on? But yeah, that's like, I don't know. It's just kind of like really freeing in a way. Yeah. Yeah. So I have gotten into reformer strength Pilates. Like, I've been doing Pilates for about a year and a half now. Like, I say seriously, but I mean like I've been going and doing Pilates 2 or 3 days a week, like consistently every single week for about a year and a half. And I feel like I've gotten so much stronger. And then like the last month and a half, I started doing reformer strength Pilates. And that's more of like an intermediate to advanced class. Like, that's how my studio labels it. And I do feel like pretty good in it, but sometimes it'll humble me so much. And like yesterday, I'm like really sore today, but yesterday I was a little humbled because we were doing these kind of like squat lunge. They're like scooter lunges, but we were like also holding a 10-pound kettlebell in our left or right arm, depending on the side. And I was shaking. My legs, they were like shaking so much, like I thought they were gonna give out. I had to take a break for a second, and like I was like, oh, I'm humbled by like my own body in a way, because I do have like very strong legs. Like, I literally like always have. I mean, I was an ice dancer, and so like you were very like strong on your legs. You were bending your knees on the ice all the time. And then you know, I've done like strength training throughout my life, but like like one thing I've always not been good at, and this like this the instructor humbled me, I will say. I have not I not no planks I've actually gotten a lot better at. Bridges. But bridges where you're going up, and then you're still in a bridge, but you're also going in and out on the reformer. The instructor came up to me and she was like, push more in your like right leg, because I have my left leg up and tabled up. This is like, who cares about this? But like, she goes, put a little more effort into it. And I was like, effort. Effort. I was like, I'm putting in so much effort right now. I feel like I'm about to fall. I was like, what? I hope she just used like the wrong word or whatever, because I was like, yeah, push more in my right leg, and that definitely like made it feel like I had more connection. But I was like, effort. Oh, I mean, like, does it look like I'm slacking? I don't know. Maybe it did. It brought me back to like maybe some times where I was like, you know, slacking or whatever. Like, I was like, I feel like I'm putting a lot of effort in, but maybe it doesn't look like it, or maybe I'm not. I don't know. Choice words, y'all. It's Sunday. I honestly was like, am I recording today? I don't know. Do I have anything to talk about? Yeah, I do. I wanted to say, like, Oh, whoa, cut this out, Patrick. That was a really long pause. I think my brain just shut down. No, you know what I realized yesterday, or not yesterday. You know what I realized is like the something I talked about last week was like how my brain is always like, oh my god, I got to do this and this and this and this and this, and I literally realized that that is like actually like feeling like you always have to be doing something is one burnout, but two a sign of like late stage capitalism where you're not allowed to like rest or where your like brain doesn't feel like it's allowed to rest. And I just realized that I was like, oh, yeah, that's kind of what that is. I don't feel like I'm ever allowed to like take a break or rest or relax or whatever. So I'm really trying to like this weekend I've been trying to allow myself to just be and do and not like feel like I need to be rushing around and like doing chores 24/7 because I can also just relax, and that's kind of a nice thing to do. Yeah, so like the brain I described last time is maybe not a healthy brain, right? And I'm trying to get more zen, if you will. So yeah, I'm working on that. Yeah, I want to talk about some loves. Patrick and I went to the Whitney yesterday. Such a nice museum. I really connected with this one artist. And I am going to butcher the name. Emily Louise Gizeau, and she has like there's I think she has like a few pieces in the Whitney right now, and they're paintings kind of her and her dog at the end of it's her service animal kind of at the end of her dog's life, and it's just like I posted some on my personal Instagram. I'll post some on the Mildly Spiraling pod Instagram after I released this episode, but I really connected with it, just kind of that connectivity with animals and with like your dog, your cat, whatever you have. Like I do think that's such an important like emotional and spiritual connection. And just the way it was expressed in her pieces brought tears to my eyes, honestly. But then it was like juxtaposed with this like more sculptural element of like just Kong toys made out of different like color materials and things, and those were kind of in the middle of the room. I mean, it was probably like over 100 like Kong toys that she had created, but just kind of that playful element juxtaposed to this like such like profound beauty and sadness and connectivity in the paintings like really worked for me in a way. I think it made it just feel like kind of like what I like actually is just like a combination between beauty and playfulness, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like really cool, and I highly recommend it if you're in New York or visiting New York. It's a really cool piece. So I love that. I've talked about like, you know, going on artist dates and just like bringing yourself to an art museum and kind of wandering around. Like that's one of my favorite things to do. I feel like I just always leave feeling so inspired, and I highly recommend it. Also, something else that I have found makes life feel a little magical is it's been super windy, and there's something about the wind. I don't know if The Holiday, one of my favorite movies, when Jack Black talks about the Santa Anas. Like I know the Santa Anas make people crazy in California, but like I always kind of loved them. I kind of thrived in the craziness of the Santa Anas. And I just love when it's like a windy day in New York. Now, I love when it's a windy day in New York and I'm kind of just like walking around. Like I feel like a character in a movie. I don't like when it's a windy day in New York and I have to walk down Atlantic and there's trash blowing in my face. Because that's happened to me too, where like I think last year it was so windy and I had to go to an appointment on Atlantic, and I like was walking down Atlantic And trash was just flying in my face, and like literally, I think a piece of like like Snickers wrapper got stuck to my pants, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" That is not a love, but I do love wind in general, just not when trash is clinging to articles of clothing. Yeah, I don't know. It's been really hard to sometimes, one of the reasons I started this podcast is because I have been feeling sad. Number one, of like, I want to express myself in a way that feels real to me. But number two, of like, this kind of forces me to talk about things that I feel gratitude towards and also things that I'm loving. You're probably like, yeah, but you could just write this in a journal and like shut up. But it's also like, I love telling stories and I love like talking about what I'm grateful for. And maybe it makes you think about what you feel grateful for, what you love in a world where it all constantly feels like things are being taken away from us, if that makes sense. Like, I think we live in a world where there's constant fear and where there's like always a new news story, but like being reminded of or like forcing yourself in a way to think about things that you love is really, really important to stay grounded and also to remember that it's so beautiful to be alive. Yeah. I think that's really important to remember, and that's kind of like the point of this podcast in a way. Is that I love loving things, and I love people that are like passionate about things, and it's not dorky and it's not weird, and I think it's really easy to be disassociated or like dismissive or like too cool to like something, but I also think it's like really cool to be obsessed with things. And that's really like the point of this whole podcast. So, hey, I'm telling you what the point of this podcast is about 30 episodes in. And hey, thank you so much for listening. With that being said, I'd love to get into some of my spirals. I think number one is shame. The emotion of shame. Now, hey, there's a lot of men out there that need to feel shame more. But I think when shame is not productive, when you feel shame about something that like you can't help, it sends you down a spiral and it is so fucking like dehumanizing in a way. So, for example, I have been feeling a lot of shame around infertility. It's come up in both couples counseling last week and also my individual therapy that I do. And I didn't even realize until like sometimes it'll just come out and it's like we're talking about something and then it's like, oh, the reason I feel this way or like the reason this is even coming up is because I feel a lot of shame that my body is not working the way it's supposed to work. I feel a lot of shame of like, did I do something to cause this? Like, they're like just not productive conversations to even have, but it's so like human to even think that. Like, it is not normal to have an AMH of 0.08. It's not normal to have like literally no eggs left at 38. But it also is like there are other people in this situation and it's not just you. And unfortunately sometimes that is like it fucking sucks and it is my life, but I don't feel like I think I can like say that and that can be like a piece of it. But like the shame I'm feeling, it's like I'm trying to figure out, like I'm still trying to figure out where it comes from, but it's definitely sending me into a spiral. Like the shame that comes with infertility has been sending me into a spiral, and it's been, I've been crying a lot about it. It's making me feel emotions that I haven't felt in a long time, and honestly, I think that like I'm glad that I'm thinking about it and talking about it because otherwise I just have it like pent up inside, which isn't super helpful. But it's definitely sending me into a spiral. Like the way like our culture even talks about infertility is dehumanizing. It makes you feel like something's wrong with you. Like people always say, oh, like women, like, oh my gosh, we get to like bring life into this world. And like, it's like, but what if your body doesn't let you do that? Like, that sucks. Like, it just sucks. One thing that was like really helpful for me to hear, I heard from like a therapist that specializes in fertility and reproductive health, was like, you are pregnant from like kind of the minute you start conceiving, and especially with like infertility, like if you've been going through the like trying to get answers and going to doctor's appointments and like doing IVF or doing IUI, like you're kind of pregnant from the minute you start doing that. So like I've been pregnant for like a year and a half, you know? Like theoretically it's like been my life. It's been what I'm talking about. It's been what I'm doing, but I don't really have like anything to show for it, if that makes sense. So like it's just like you're going through this and you like have a lot of the like, I mean, even like the hormones being injected into you are similar like to like pregnancy in a way. Like my progesterone levels were like the end of a second trimester, beginning of a third trimester pregnancy. Like when I was on progesterone, I'm like, that's crazy. Like, and I'm like, it's like not even just emotionally, but it's like physically too. It's like you're bloated, like you feel so outside of your body, like you don't have control over it. So like it's like you feel like you don't have control over your body in the way of like I can't force it to be pregnant. And then it's also like I have no control over my body because it's like just bloated and feeling like crap. And it's, I mean, that's not me bringing it back to like what I said in the beginning. Like doing Pilates like does make me feel a little bit more connected to my body, which is why I love it doing it so much. I can't do it when I'm doing stims though, which is annoying because you're not supposed to like move your pelvis around, which is literally Pilates. Yeah, that makes me spiral. I think the other thing that makes me spiral is like, I mean, is it humanistic? Is it selfish to bring a child into the world when we're literally like in World War III? I don't know. That's something I think about a lot, and I think it's, you know, people like you start, you know, you're like, well, I'm just going in and getting my blood work and my ultrasound done, and it's kind of like you're going through the like motions of it, but you're also like, oh my god, what am I doing? And I don't know. I think that's hard. I think that's like such a. I feel like a lot of people like that. It's like talk about it. It's like yeah, but like it is such a part of being a human, part of being an animal, part of being alive to want to bring new life into this world. Yeah, I don't know. That's like something I feel shame about too, and it kind of sends me into a spiral. It's like like there's a lot of shit going on, and it's like you know, and then it's like oh, and I'm trying to have a child. I don't know, but I also like think that there's something beautiful and magical in it, and like hoping that things are going to get better, and having hope and having optimism in the future. I hope. I mean, honestly, like I really do have hope and optimism in the future, and I think we are in kind of like a state of combustion right now, and I do think things will get better. I truly, truly do. So, yeah, I just talked myself out of that spiral. Holy moly! I love when I can do that. When I can talk myself out of a spiral live on air. Oh, I will not be watching the Oscars tonight. Fuck, fuck Timothy Chalamet. I like the ballet and I like opera, and I hope Michael B. Jordan wins. I think it's today. I honestly have no idea, and I don't really care. Yeah, I don't know. I just like don't really like I love art and I love film, but I don't really like award shows are fine, but it's kind of just like a fucking like capitalistic kiss each other on the feet shit show. I don't really know how to say it. Does that make sense? No. No, it doesn't, but who cares? No, I don't know. I just am like, whatever. Like, I love art, but like, then so much of it becomes not about art, and I can't really get behind that. Like, I don't really like an actor, like, yeah, sure. I mean, he's admitting, like, I like things that make money and I like things that people go see. And I don't want to, like, be a part of something that people aren't going to, like, see or do money. But then it's like, are you doing art for art's sake, or are you doing money for an audience? Or are you doing money for are you doing money for an audience? Are you doing art for art's sake, or are you doing art for an audience because you want attention? And that's kind of like that whole, like, that's influencer culture, right? Like, it is literally just doing things for clicks, doing things for money. Hey, doing a podcast for people to listen to. This is my art, y'all. Don't. I am doing this, and come on. Like, let's be real. No. I understand I'm saying this, and I'm not saying I'm better than anyone. I'm just saying that I'm saying it. You know what I mean? I'm just speaking. This is the podcast, right? I'm just saying things, and you might hate it, and you might love it, and you might like it. It might send you into spiral, and that's okay. I feel like I should stop. Should I stop talking right now? Well, I think I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. Yeah. I like looking at my notes. Yeah. The wind makes things feel magical. That's true, and I did talk about that. The way age is talked about in society, I did not talk about. I feel like I kind of talked about it. And I think that's kind of the thing. It's wrapped up in the shame that I talked about, and it's also wrapped up in, like, this whole art and beauty for clicks, I think, right? Like, I mean, I just think age has started being talked about in, like, a lot of different ways, and it's kind of interesting. It really depends, like, what you're consuming with the way it's talked about. I don't know. Did this become like an American Studies, like, culture or anthropology podcast? Maybe. I don't know. Did it? I am going to sign off, and I hope this wasn't totally crazy. It probably was, but I hope that's, like, what you like. I haven't been to Trader Joe's in a long time, and I feel like I need to go. Should I go today? I might. I think I might go today. It could be a fun thing to do. I'm also going to get some pistachio ice cream. I love pistachio ice cream. And I'm going to watch the PWHL game. That starts in 8 minutes, which is also part of the reason I need to wrap this up. Yeah, I love y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Just a reminder that you can like this podcast, and you can also subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening or wherever you want to listen in the future. You can watch all of these episodes on YouTube now, I think starting with 3. So there's 3 uploaded. This will be the 4th one. So watch on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, Mildly Spiraling Pod. And I have Substack too. Oh, and I'm going to be doing a guest. I'm writing a piece for a infertility podcast that I'm really excited about. So I'll plug that once that's released on their Substack, so you can check it out. Super excited about that. Yeah, I hope you have a beautiful week this week, y'all. Love you. Bye. That's my podcast. That's my podcast.